There's a strange tension that shows up once your finances finally become stable. For a long time, stability feels like the finish line. When money used to be tight, the dream was simple: bills paid on time, no panic at the end of the month, a little margin instead of constant pressure. And when that finally happens, you expect to feel like you've arrived. You expect relief. You expect calm. You expect the sense that the journey is over. But lately I've realized something uncomfortable. Stability was never the dream. Ownership was. Hi, I'm JP, and I'm starting to understand that there's a difference between building a stable life and building something that actually belongs to you. There was a season in our life where survival was the focus. Not growth, not expansion, not opportunity, just survival. Would we make it through the month without stress? Would nothing unexpected happen? Would discipline hold long enough to keep things stable? I remember checking the bank balance constantly. I remember calculating how many days were left until payday. I remember hoping nothing would go wrong because there simply wasn't room for it. That season shaped me. It taught me discipline. It taught me awareness. It taught me what financial pressure feels like. And those lessons don't disappear once things improve. They stay with you, even when the numbers change. Today, things look very different. There's margin. There's structure. There's a sense that the system we built is actually working. And that's something I'm deeply grateful for. Because stability is not accidental. It's built slowly, through discipline, through restraint, through saying no to things that would have felt easier in the moment. But stability introduces a new question. When the panic is gone, what comes next? Because survival gives you a very clear mission, but stability removes urgency. And when urgency disappears, direction becomes your responsibility. Here's the honest tension. Things are stable, but I'm not satisfied. Not in an ungrateful way, not in a reckless way, but in a forward-looking way. Because stability protects what you have. Ownership builds something new. And those two things feel very different. Stability keeps the lights on. Ownership creates freedom. Stability reduces stress. Ownership creates opportunity. And somewhere in that difference, I've realized that the calm we built was never meant to be the final destination. It was the foundation. One of the questions I've been asking myself recently is very simple. Am I building a stable life, or am I building something that can stand on its own? Because stability inside employment is still stability that depends on someone else's system, someone else's decisions, someone else's structure. And there's nothing wrong with that. Employment can be honorable, responsible, wise. But ownership is different. Ownership means the system exists because you built it. Ownership means the income doesn't depend on permission. Ownership means the structure belongs to you. And that kind of transition cannot be rushed. In the past, I've made the mistake of moving too quickly, of letting emotion lead decisions, of mistaking urgency for opportunity. And those mistakes cost time. They cost stability. They cost peace. So now I operate differently. I don't want freedom built on adrenaline. I want freedom built on proof. Before I ever step away from the safety of my salary, two things must be true: 6 months of consistent withdrawals and 6 months of salary saved. Not a spike, not a lucky season, consistency. Because freedom that cannot survive volatility isn't freedom, it's exposure. And I won't expose my family to that. Even though the numbers have improved, memory still speaks. Financial pressure leaves an imprint. Your mind remembers what instability feels like. Your body remembers the tension. So when I think about stepping toward ownership, I don't immediately think about excitement. I think about sustainability. Can this carry responsibility? Can this survive difficult months? Can this protect the peace we worked so hard to build? Those questions matter more to me than speed, because moving fast isn't impressive if the structure collapses later. The dream isn't just to earn more. The dream is to build something that lasts. Something my son can look at one day and say, "My dad built something." Not something he rushed into, not something he chased emotionally. Something he constructed. Carefully, patiently, with structure. There's a difference between making money and building a system that produces it. And systems take time. Ownership isn't something you escape into. It's something you grow into. And growth rarely feels dramatic. From the outside, it can look slow, unimpressive, uneventful. But every disciplined decision matters. Every month of consistency matters. Every moment you choose patience instead of impulse matters. That's construction. Not dramatic construction, but real construction. Foundation work. And foundations are what allow something to stand for decades instead of months. Stability gave me peace, but ownership will require patience. There's a difference between being safe and being ready. And right now, my focus isn't on speed, it's on readiness. Because the goal isn't just to leave something behind. The goal is to build something that can carry weight. If you're in a season where things are finally calm, but you feel the pull towards something bigger, that tension doesn't mean you're ungrateful. It means you're thinking about the future. And the future is built slowly. I'm JP, and I'll see you in the next one.